Hey guys, what's up? So today I'm going to be telling you how to hike Halfdome. It's one of my favorite hikes in America, so let's get into it. Now the best way to go about starting this hike is going early in the morning. The shuttle system at Yosemite starts at about 7 a.m., but if you can, I'd recommend you go even earlier. It's also important to condition yourself before this hike. It's a big hike. It's 17 miles round trip with an elevation gain of 5,500 feet. It also takes about 10 to 16 hours. What I did personally to prepare for this hike is I ate an entire watermelon by myself. You gotta do what you gotta do to stay hydrated. Now there's a few different options when hiking Halfdome. You can go from Glacier Point, you can go from Cloud's Rest, but my personal favorite after hiking all of them was definitely the Mist Trail. There's just something different about it. Now, once you get to the Vernal Falls Footbridge, it's gonna be your last option for clean drinkable water and flush toilets. I'd highly recommend bringing a water purifier. I'd even go so far to say you shouldn't hike Halfdome without it. Now the steps are something different. Like once you reach the steps, you realize that it's not just a hike. It's something a little bit more special. And it's so incredible to just ascend to these waterfalls. Like it feels like something angelic, like you're going into heaven, or it's just different. It's not just an ordinary hike. It's called the Mist Trail for a reason, and you'll find that out. I can't give an adjective that accurately depicts how special this area of the hike is, because you're gonna be drenched. And when I say drenched, I don't mean like a little wet. I mean consumed by water. Like it's not just a little like, oh yeah, you know, like a little mist from the waterfall. It plumes on you. Now you're gonna come up to an overlook, and if you try to take pictures at it, you're just gonna end up spending the entire time wiping your lens. But if you keep going maybe 200 or 300 more feet, you're gonna come up to another overlook, and it's just out of the range of the mist. So you just get a beautiful picture. And then once you get to the top of those sketchy steps, you're gonna be at the Vernal Falls overlook, and it's something just truly special. So now you're gonna progress to Nevada Falls. And as you go up Nevada Falls, you're gonna be going up a bunch of switchbacks. And once you get to the top of that, there's an outhouse right there. And if you go to the right 0.2 miles, you hit Nevada Falls. Personally, I would rather just hit that on the way down. That's what I did, that's what I would recommend, but you can do whatever you want. Now, in Little Yosemite Valley, it passes through sequoia trees, and you'll kind of get like teased by Halfdome through the foliage. It's kind of special because it doesn't like throw it in your face just yet. It kind of hints at it. It just gives you a little taste. Once you get up to Subdome, there's gonna be a few rangers. They're gonna be checking permits. So right now I'm gonna segue into how to get a permit. So the permit system in Yosemite basically happened because people were dying, and it got to the point there were like 2,000 people on the cables every day. Now to secure a permit, you have the Preseason Lottery, where you can apply in March regardless of when you plan to hike it. 300 permits are allotted per day. 225 for day hikers and 75 for backpackers. They also allow 50 for a daily lottery, which you can apply to, I believe, 2 days in advance. Now the daily lottery statistics for achieving a permit are weekdays are about 31% and weekend success rate is about 12%. So like I said, you literally triple your odds by going during the weekdays. Now the best times to try to get a permit would be September and October. And in general, that's a good time to visit because usually school's in session. All right, now if you try to hike Halfdome without a permit, you're risking a $5,000 fine and or 6 months in jail. So needless to say, get the permit. I believe it's $15 for the chance to get a permit, and you can apply every day until you get it. So you're gonna need a few things. You're gonna need your permit, and you're gonna need your photo ID to verify that you are who you say you are, which is kind of annoying, but it is what it is. You're gonna start heading up to the cables. Now these stairs are big, it's grueling, it's all exposed, you're gonna be in the sunlight, and it's steep. It's gonna strain even an experienced hiker. Now, when you get to the cables, you're gonna see a pit with a whole bunch of gloves in it. Something that I would bring my own gloves. If you forget, There's a pile full of them that people kind of paid it forward and just left their gloves there for you, which is very nice. So put some gloves on and you get to the cables, and oh man, it's just something about that point where there's nothing like it. Nothing comes close, because you look up and it looks like it never ends, and it just looks like you're going into heaven or something angelic. It's so cool. Like, it really, I'm getting excited just thinking about it, because oh man, I love it. Now, it's gonna be tough if it's packed, so that's also something to consider too. If there's a bunch of people, you might want to wait a few minutes and see if it kind of thins out, for lack of a better word. Because when there's a lot of people, there's going to be people that are going really slow, and you're going to want to pass them. I saw some people with daisy chains, where you have like a climbing harness. I don't think you need that personally, but if it makes you feel safe, by all means. I mean, it's all about your comfort and your safety, so if you're feeling it, go for it. Right when you're in the middle of the cables, it's kind of like vertical, and you just feel like a badass. You really do. You just feel so cool. You're like, wow, like I'm really doing it. And like, especially because it's Yosemite, Half Dome is Yosemite. You're just going up and you're looking up like it's never gonna end, but you know, like you can do it. And oh man, you feel incredible. You know, it's special because it's something that you'll remember for the rest of your life. Anytime anyone talks about Yosemite, you can be like, oh, I hiked Half Dome. And it's not like a bragging thing, it's just like, it's cool. Even if you don't say it, you just know. You're like, oh yeah, I hiked Half Dome. You know what I mean? It's special. It's really cool, and it's something that you'll remember for the rest of your life. And I think that's awesome. And then once you get to the top, I mean, just have fun. You gotta watch out for marmots. I had marmots kind of attack my bag. So if you have any food, it might be a good idea to kind of just monitor where your stuff is. But yeah, man, those marmots are funny. I don't even know how they got up there, to be completely honest, but it's hysterical. They'll just kind of like roll around, and like they were chewing through my bag. It's like, get out of here. But yeah, you can take a picture at the top. You can just hang out. You can enjoy it. You can do whatever you want, and it's great. I mean, you can dance. I danced. I love dancing. I'm not good at it, but I just like it. So another thing to keep into account is how much water you bring up, because I had to give away all my water to a hiker that wasn't doing well, and it kind of upset me because I was hoping to spend sunset up there, and I couldn't because I gave all my water away, and it kind of left me vulnerable to the point that I'm like, oh man, like it's at least like 1.5 miles until I can get to a body of water that I can pull from, like with my purifier. So just please be prepared. But it's important. I mean, if someone needs water, you have to give it to them. You can't be like, well, I want to stay up for sunset. I don't care if you die. It's like, no, like, give them the water. So coming down, you have two options. All right, you can go down the way that you came, or you can go down the Muir Trail. Personally, I'd recommend going down the Muir Trail. Number one, because it's just different scenery. And I think, especially if you're not spending a lot of time in Yosemite, I think it's definitely worth checking out. Now, when you go down the John Muir Trail, you're going to get a different vantage point, rather, of Nevada Falls. And it's cool, you know what I mean? It's a little bit more gradual, too. It's not as steep of a decline, but it's also 1.5 miles more, which is something to take into account. If you're shot and you want to get down, go down the way you came. But if you're feeling good and, you know, you're just enjoying it, then I'd definitely recommend it. I hope you enjoyed this content. It's something I haven't really tried before, but if it gets a good reception, I'll definitely be open to making more of them. Comment, rate, subscribe, you know, throw me some support. Alright, have a good one, guys.